Hello, and welcome to another basketball edition of the Adrienne Ross Show. You see, I'm wearing a hat. On this hat, you see the word reform. Why? Because we're talking about basketball, and the WNBA is in serious need of reform. Everyone is talking today about what happened in the first game of the first round of the 2024 playoffs. The Indiana Fever taking on the Connecticut Sun. DiJonai Carrington pokes Caitlin Clark in the eyes. All the talk today. Now, I've had people send me messages. I've had people send me links. They want me to see what happened at a particular angle. I had already seen it, but I work during the day. So just can't stop everything and make a video. But I definitely plan to weigh in. And so here we are. First of all, I got to take you back to a post-game live chat I did yesterday. I was live for the game, took a couple hours or so off. I had an event to go to, came back. I did a post-game decompress from game one live. And when I did that live, everyone was abuzz about this particular angle that they saw, people feeling strongly that this was intentional. Now, someone said to me, oh, you know it was intentional, Adrienne. You know, just say it. You know it was intentional. And I had a certain response to that. I'm going to play this response to you, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk some more about it. Check it out. I don't know if it was intentional, like I said. If I knew it was intentional, I would say I thought it was intentional because I don't hold back. So don't say I knew it was intentional. What I said was after the game, I left and I went to a church event, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at it. And if I think it's intentional, I'll tell you I think it's intentional. Who am I hiding from? Nobody, right? So if I think it's intentional, I'll say so. But I'm not going to say it just because that's what people are saying. If I see it and I think it was intentional. Now, like I said, if I I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. It's Connecticut. It's DiJonai. I wouldn't be surprised. But I want to take a look at it. But anyway, okay, so before we get into it, let me remind you that you should smash that subscribe button. I appreciate your support. Also, click the join button and find out about the 4 memberships to the Adrienne Ross Show channel. I would be greatly appreciative of that. Now, let's get to getting. You heard what I said. Someone had suggested that I knew it was intentional. I just didn't want to say it. I'm like, y'all must not know me. I will say it if I see evidence of it, right? And I didn't want to speak on the intentionality of such a thing until I had seen that different angle. I have seen that different angle. So now I'm ready to respond to that. Okay? Remember, reform. It's absolutely needed. Now, I watched like everyone else watched during the game. I saw something take place. Caitlin's on the floor, and we're like, well, what happened? Then we realized she'd been poked in the eye. We're seeing it in regular speed. We're seeing it in real time. What we're wondering at that point is, why wasn't there a foul called, right? Okay, so now this different angle comes out. Now let me say this. I said there, you heard me say it. I wouldn't have been surprised if it was intentional. Why? Connecticut and DiJonai. DiJonai Carrington's been running her mouth, obviously has an issue with Caitlin Clark, obviously has had some things to say in the past. So yeah, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised, but I wanted to see that other angle. Before I get to my thoughts on that angle, I have to say this. If I'm the WNBA leadership, I am completely embarrassed that people have such a low view of you that they would believe that your league has members of this organization who would go after someone's eyeballs. That ought to tell you something right there, because it would say something to me. Like, I got a soul search. What kind of product have we produced that people would actually think that we would have people amongst us who would go at the lowest of low, not just kicking someone, not just a hard foul, but to literally go after the eyeballs? That's what they think of us? Yeah. That's what we think, because we've been seeing some things. Well, that's number one. And then I got to think, DiJonai, like, oh my goodness, DiJonai, what have you done? What kind of image have you presented that people would think that you would go after someone's eye? That is horrible. That's horrible. It's almost like when people use the term racist, they throw that around. You know, some people do it on purpose. Why? Because they know that's the lowest, right? That's the most hurtful. That ends the conversation, and it's just, who wants to be called that? But these people, DiJonai, think that you intentionally went after Caitlin Clark's eyeballs. You've got to self-reflect, because people aren't saying, "Oh, no. She would never do that." People are saying, 9 times out of 10, I would think something like that would not be intentional. But we're talking about the WNBA, and we're talking about DiJonai Carrington. So yeah, I believe it. And then beyond that, when you look at the other angle, when I looked at the original angle on the playback, it looked to me like it could have been a mishap.
With no whistle.
When I look at the playback, it does appear that the claws, those nails, are going down and targeting Caitlin Clark's eyes. I do realize sometimes with a slow-mo, sometimes things are skewed. But all I can say is, from my perspective, when I watch that, it doesn't seem like a natural flow or swat at the ball. The trajectory of your fingers, your hands change. It appears and goes to Caitlin Clark's eyes. And you know what? There's a lot of talk about this all over the internet. I don't live on Twitter. I know some people do. Seems like DiJonai loves to be on Twitter talking this and talking that, talking smack and talking, But I purposely looked, and I haven't seen a response to that, which I find interesting, especially for someone who doesn't mind. I'm sure she's been hearing people talk about it. She doesn't mind usually running her mouth, but we've heard nothing. So yeah, after reviewing that, it appears to me that it's hard to believe that that's the natural flow of your hand into Caitlin Clark's eyeballs, which could have been absolutely tragic. So now, if I am the WNBA commissioner, you guys know I did a video before, 5 things I would do ASAP. I would change ASAP if I were the WNBA commissioner. I did that, a few weeks ago. Okay. One of the things I said was, I need to clean house in terms of officiating. How is that not a foul, period? One of the things I said was that after every suspect call, foul, they need to review these fouls and they need to clean house. They need to hold people accountable. How is there no foul? The officiating is, how do I say, less than desirable? Leaves, I don't know what the expression is, leaves a lot to be desired. That's the expression I'm looking for, and I'm being mild there. But if I am Kathy Engelbert, what do I have to do? I am calling in. I'm calling in the coach, Coach White of Connecticut. I don't know, maybe, I don't know where Kathy Engelbert, I don't know if she's in Connecticut right now or what. I don't care if it's a Zoom call, but we're having a conversation after I look at this thing as everyone else is seeing this angle. I'm calling her in and I'm saying to her, I need answers. You're the leader of that team. I need answers. You, Coach White, you need to have a conversation with DiJonai. And I'm not saying that DiJonai is necessarily going to tell the truth. But I need to have that conversation. You need to talk to her, and then we all need to get around the Zoom table if possible, and we need to talk. We need to talk. I need to hear from you exactly what took place there. And again, I don't know that DiJonai is going to say, yeah, I poked her in the eyeballs on purpose. But I got to have some kind of discernment or sensitivity or something. And you know what? It would appear to me that if I'm Kathy Engelbert and I'm seeing what everybody else is seeing, it would seem to me justifiable, depending on how that conversation goes, in spite of what DiJonai says, it would seem to me reasonable that she would have to sit out in game 2, that she would not be able to play in game 2. That's that. And to me, that's leadership. You can't just ignore these things. I'm hearing people today all over the place. I'm done. I'm out of here. I don't want to see any more of this. Boom. I'm hearing it. You're hearing it. It might be you. So there's that. The other thing is this. If I'm leading the WNBA, the nails got to go. Now, I like my nails looking nice too. They've been going through lately. Okay. But generally, typically, I like to have my nails done. I don't have them all long like claws or anything like that. But a lot of these players do. It's a weapon. So if I am the leader of this league, I got to say right now, not the end of the season, right now, before another game. First of all, if she hasn't done this yet, she's already late. But as a leader, I got to say, listen, if you intend to play, these are the players left for the playoffs. If you intend to play, and if you intend to suit up and get any playing time, the nails have to go. Now, I'm not forcing my will on you. You can decide not to take off the nails, but you just won't be playing. And it has to be done before the next game, period. Before your next game, the nails have to go. Why are they out there with those nails like that? People poked in the eye, people scratched, you bending it back. I played with long nails before. I know what that feels like when the ball hits it and bends it back. It's painful. But forget about you. If you don't care about your pain, what about somebody else's eyeballs? What about somebody else is getting chopped in the neck with those things? They have to go. They have to go. If you want to play. Now, if you don't want to play, keep your nails. But something has to be done in this league with the attacks on Caitlin Clark, the body checks, the hit to the throat, the bum rush, and then now your eyeballs. And I am not DiJonai Carrington. I'm just saying, when I look at that, the angle that I saw, not the original angle that we were seeing, but when I look at that, it looks to me like it was intentional. I'd like to hear from DiJonai, even though, of course, I don't expect her to say, yeah, I poked her in the eye, unless she had a come to Jesus moment, which is possible. She posts scripture. I noticed that she posts scripture. I don't usually follow her Twitter account. Other people cover it and all the nonsense that goes on there, but she's got scripture on there. She's got, maybe. But this has got to stop. It is an absolute shame that in this professional organization, you're there to play basketball. You've got young girls that start watching, that people would even think that you would be so dirty that you would go for someone's eyes. I hope what we're seeing, or we think we're seeing, is wrong. I really do. I don't know. But as the leader, here's what I'm going to say too. That flagrant one, a flagrant one foul, when someone gets hit in the face or whatever, that one doesn't even imply that you intended to hit them in the head or anything. That the reason why they call that and they review that and they call that is so that it's not that it's necessarily intentional, but anything where you're toward the head, they're calling that. Why? Because they have to discourage that from happening intentionally. So maybe Kathy Engelbert doesn't want to say that it was intentional, but she saw that what happened. I say the same thing applies. You have to take action, and it needs to be sterner than a flagrant one. You have to take action, because people cannot be looking at your league and seeing someone lying on the floor because she got gouged in the eyeball. This league needs some serious reform. So that's my take on it. I know you guys have been talking about it. You can continue to talk about it in the comments. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, share, like, all that good stuff. I appreciate you. God bless you abundantly. I'll catch you next time. God bless.